Good morning, everyone. Actually, our topic is started in previous lecture. Is in class 12th. We are discussing about current electricity. Okay, in our previous chapter. But today we are discussing about chapter number 4, and the name of this chapter is moving charge. Okay, moving charge and magnetism. Moving charge and magnetism. In chapter number 1 and 2, we are discussing about only a stationary charge, a charge in a rest, and the force between charge, electric field between charge, and so many other property we find out in previous two chapter. And in chapter number 3, we are discussing about a current flow due to charge. Okay, if current flow, so similarly charge is flow with the current. Okay, in the current flow, similarly the charge is flow in the current, but only the flowing of the charge, only the moving of the charge, not only current is flow, but also a external field is also generated. Okay, so this field is basically magnetic field. This field is basically magnetic field. The introduction of this is the introduction is basically, if we are taking a current carrying wire. Okay, in this wire the current is flow upward. Okay, if you put a compass needle near this current carrying wire like this, this is a compass needle. Okay, and this is also a compass needle like this. If we put a compass needle like this, in this case we are seeing that the direction of the compass needle is changed like this. Okay, this is circulatory form. The direction of compass needle is like this. This is circulatory form. This is the basically direction of the compass needle. If a current carrying, if I put the compass needle near a current carrying wire, and in this wire the current is upward. If we change the direction of the current, if this current is downward, then also the direction of the compass needle is opposite. Okay, the direction of the compass needle is opposite like this. The direction of the compass needle is opposite. It's mean actually a current carrying wire generate a external magnetic field near the surrounding of this wire. Okay, so this is the direction of current, this is the direction of a compass needle like this. In this case you are seeing easily, if you change the direction of the current in a wire, then the compass needle position is opposite. Okay, if we are using another example, this is a wire with current I. Okay, and there are a sheet, non-conducting sheet. Okay, and if we put some iron powder here. Okay, if we are put some iron powder here on the sheet, then this iron powder is form a circular path, convert in a circular path. Okay, then you flow the current in this wire. Okay, and you put a non-conducting sheet, iron powder. Okay, then you are seeing that this iron powder is formed in a circular path, because this current carrying wire is conduct a magnetic field, and this magnetic field convert to this iron powder in a circular path. Okay, so this is the basic introduction कि what why a current carrying wire conduct a current carrying wire generate a magnetic field. Okay, then we are discussing about if there are a magnetic field is generated, then it produce a force. So we are discussing about magnetic force. First of all, we are discussing about, because in the case of electric field and the Coulomb force, there are charge are established. Then this charge is produce the Coulomb force and electric field. But in this case, what is the source and field? So in this case, actually a moving charge, okay, moving charge and current is produce the magnetic force. Basically, in the case of electric force and electric field, there are a charge is available. Okay, so this charge is these are produce force and electric field, but there we are taking two things. First is moving charge and second is current. These two things are established anywhere there a magnetic force is produced. Okay, so this is the finally a source. Then we are discussing about Lorentz force. Actually, similarly, we are discussing about Coulomb force in the case of a stationary charge. Then for moving charge, we are using the Lorentz force. Actually, this Lorentz force is basically F is equals to F is equals to F electric plus F magnetic, because if a charge is stationary or moving, it produce electric field always. But if charge are moving, then it also produce magnetic field. So the Lorentz force are the basically sum of the electric and magnetic field. So the electric field is QE, okay, and the magnetic field is basically Q is the charge of the moving charge, and because this charge is moving, so the velocity of the charge, and due to this moving charge, what is the magnetic field is produced. So this is the basic formula of the Lorentz force. Okay, this is the basic formula of Lorentz force. When electric and magnetic field both are produced anywhere, then QE plus QV cross B, this is the cross product. Remember that this is the cross product. If I write here F magnetic equals to QV cross B, this is basically this is a vector quantity. So if we remove the cross product from here, we are getting a angle sin theta. Okay, if in any case V is parallel or anti-parallel to B, then we know that there are the angle theta is 0 degree, and for 0 degree the F magnetic is 0. Okay, because the sin 0 is 0. Then if we are using V is perpendicular to B, then we are getting angle theta is 90 degree, and in this case sin 90 is 1. So we are getting F magnetic is equals to Q VB. Okay, so in this case actually the velocity of the moving charge and the direction of the magnetic field are perpendicular. In that case the charge are face a force. Otherwise if they are parallel or anti-parallel, this charge are not face any magnetic force. Understand this? If we are discussing about what is the direction of this force, okay, for the direction of this force, if we are assumed that this is the direction of magnetic field, okay, this is the direction of magnetic field, then we are using our right hand and we move our finger in the magnetic field like this. This is a circular like this, okay, on a plane. This is circle on a plane and the field line are in the direction of in your finger. Then the thumb is perpendicular to this plane and this thumb will show the direction of force. This thumb will show the direction of force. Okay, so if any plane have a magnetic field like this direction, then the magnetic force is upward, and if we are using the force direction is opposite like this, okay, the force direction is opposite like this. In this case the field line are clockwise, okay. In this case we are considering anti-clockwise, so magnetic force is upward, and in this case the field line are clockwise, then the magnetic force direction is downward, okay. So this is the basically the direction of the force. Actually this direction of the force is perpendicular to both these V and B, because we know that this is the cross product, okay. So the force direction is also perpendicular of both V and B. So this is basically magnetic force, okay, and this is we are discuss about the Lorentz force. And if we are find out the unit of the B, if we are find out what is the unit of the B, because B is a magnetic field, so magnetic, if electric field have some unit, like the magnetic field also have some unit, okay. We know that F magnetic is equals to QVB. If we find out the value of B from here, we are getting F upon QV. So the unit of the F is Newton and Q is Coulomb and V is meter per second. If we simplify this, we are getting B equals to Newton into second upon Coulomb into meter. This is the one of the unit of the magnetic field, and we are denoted it like Tesla. Tesla is also the unit of the magnetic field. This Tesla is given by the famous scientist Nikola Tesla, okay. A Tesla is a very big value, okay, because Tesla is a very big value, so we are using a small value. Small value is Gauss. Small value is what? Gauss. So 1 Tesla is equals to basically 10 to power 4 Gauss. 1 Tesla is equals to basically 10 to power 4 Gauss, because Tesla is a very big value, okay. So we are using in the small calculation the unit is Gauss. Gauss is also the magnetic field unit, but 1 Tesla is the SI unit, okay. So this is the basically discussion of the unit of the magnetic field, okay. Then we are discussing about motion in a magnetic field, okay. We are discussing about magnetic field in a magnetic force in a current carrying conductor. Magnetic force in a current carrying conductor. this similar phenomena we are discussed in the electric field, so this similar formula we are discussed in the magnetic force. Okay, so there are this is a basically a current carrying conductor. Okay, like this is the length L, area A, and in this conductor the number of electron is L and the charge of this electron is Q. So basically the total charge in this conductor is basically N Q A L. N is the number of charge, Q is the charge of one charge, A into L is the complete volume of this surface. So this is the basically Q, and if we put in the formula, F magnetic is equals to Q V cross B, so the value of the Q is N Q A L V B. Okay, we are supposed that their angle are 90, so we remove the cross product. Okay, then if we simplify each, then we are getting N Q V is basically VD, drift velocity, and A L B. So N Q VD is basically, we know that current density J. N Q VD is what? J A L B. Okay, so J into A, L into B. We know that J into A is what? J into A is current I, because we know that J equals to I by A, so I equals to J into A. We are right here, J equals to N Q V D. This formula we are discussed about in our previous chapter. Okay, then we are put like this magnetic field. So the magnetic field in a current carrying conductor is basically F magnetic is equals to I L cross B. This is the another formula to find out the magnetic field in a current carrying conductor. Okay, the current I is flow in this conductor, and a magnetic field is also the, if we assume that the magnetic field is downward. Okay, if we put the magnetic field is downward, we are denoted this the cross sign. Okay, if the magnetic field is downward, then we are denote it with the cross sign, and if the magnetic field is outward of the board, then we are denoted the dot sign. We are discussed about in our lecture. Okay, so this is the magnetic force in a current carrying conductor. Then we are discuss about motion in magnetic field. If we are using only magnetic field, not electric field. Okay, if we are using only magnetic field, not electric field, then what is the motion? Motion in a magnetic field. Okay, motion in a magnetic field. There are actually two type of motion are generated. First is circular motion. Circular motion. Actually, this is a circular path, and the charge, positive charge is here, also here, also here. Okay, and the motion of the positive charge is like this, asymptote of this circular path V. So if and this is the magnetic field line. Magnetic field line is basically invert this plane. Okay, magnetic field line is basically invert this plane. So in this case, if we are discussing what is the direction of force, actually in the circular motion the direction of force is the centripetal direction is force is the basically centripetal force F. Okay, the force direction is to the center. Each and every point the force direction is to the center. So you are seeing easily the direction of force, the direction of velocity and the direction of the magnetic field. Both three are perpendicular each other. Okay, both three are perpendicular to each other. So in a circular motion, actually the force direction is in centripetal direction. Okay. Second, we are discussing about helical motion. Helical motion. Actually in helical motion, this is coordinate axis, this is x, this is y and this is z. A charge plus q is present here. So due to this charge, actually in a magnetic field the charge are produce a helical path like this, and this is the direction of B. This is the direction of B in the x direction. Okay, so at that point, if we are using this point, the velocity of the velocity direction is like this, and if we break this velocity in its component, so this is the velocity perpendicular component and this is the velocity parallel component. Basically the velocity parallel component is in the direction of the B. So due to this velocity parallel component, this charge are moving in a helical path in the direction of the magnetic field, because due to this component, because this is push the charge in the direction of the magnetic field due to this component. Okay, this is basically the pitch and this is the radius of this helical path. Okay, because we are now in a circular motion and in a helical motion, if we are using the formula of energy conservation, we are getting mv square upon r equals to this is the centripetal force and qvb, this is the magnetic force. Because these two forces are equal, then it get move in a circular and a helical motion. Then if we find out the value of the r from here, r is equals to qb upon mv. This is the radius of the circular path. Okay, this is the radius of this circular path r, and also this r and this r. So the value of this circular path, the radius of the circular path is qb upon mv. Okay, if we find out the another value, if we find out the value of the v, velocity, find the value of the v, we are getting actually qbr by m. This is the velocity using this formula. Okay, this is the velocity of the charged particle, कि what type of velocity the charged particle is move. Okay, we know that v equals to r omega, and if we find the value of the omega is equals to v upon r, then we divide the value of this is omega equals to qb by m. Omega is the angular velocity, this is the value of the angular velocity also, and we know that omega equals to 2 pi mu. So if we find the value of the mu is the frequency, and frequency value is equals to qb upon 2 pi m. Because if we find the value of the mu, we are divide the omega by 2 pi. So this is the value of the omega and we are divided by 2 pi. Then we find out the time period. Okay, time period is basically 1 by mu, and this is we are getting 2 pi upon qb. So this is the value of the time period of the motion of the charge. This is frequency, this is the radius of the charged particle in path, this is velocity of charged particle, this is angular velocity of the charged particle, this is frequency of charged particle, and this is the time period of charged particle, what time period the charged particle are moved. And if we find the value of the pitch, we find the value of the pitch is basically the pitch is equals to v parallel into t. Okay, so t is equals to 2 pi m upon qb, 2 pi m upon qb, and multiply by V parallel, then we are getting the value of the pitch कि what distance the moving charge are shifted each and every time period. Okay, so this is the basically value of the pitch. So this is basically the properties we are find out if a charge particle motion only in a magnetic field. If charge particle are motion only in a magnetic field, then we are getting this all type of properties. Okay, if then we are discussing about if motion in a magnetic and electric field. If at that case we are discussing about if both are filled at a present at a time and at a place, then what happen? Magnetic and electric field. Magnetic and electric field. In motion in a magnetic and electric field. Okay, so basically we are using, in this case, first is velocity selector. Velocity selector. How this is velocity selector? Because we know that F is equals to QE plus Q V cross B. Okay, if we are using some vector quantity, then if we assume that this is the coordinate axis, okay, x, y and z, x, y and z, and the velocity direction is like this, in x direction. Okay, the velocity in is x direction and the electric field direction is in y direction and the magnetic field direction is in direction of z. Okay, so we are right here E j cap, V I cap and B z cap. We have put the value in this formula. We are getting F is equals to Q E j cap plus Q, V value is basically V I cap into B z cap. Okay, so F is equals to Q E j cap plus Q V cross B. If we multiply the I cap into z cap, we are basically getting minus j cap. This is the vector multiplication. Okay, then if we are common Q also, and we are getting E minus V cross B, and this is common minus j cap. Okay, so in this case we are basically seeing that if we are basically seeing that basically E is in j cap direction, so F E direction is this. What direction? In y cap. But the magnetic field force V cross B is in minus j cap direction. So this direction is basically like this. This is FB. Okay, this is FB. So in this case, basically the electric force and the magnetic force direction are reverse. Okay, if we are consider if these both forces are balance each other, then if we getting F equals to 0, then we are getting QE equals to QVB. Okay, then if we find the value of the B here, we are getting V is equals to E by B. V is equals to E by B. So actually this formula is why velocity selector, because if a particle have velocity V and we are put in this particle in the magnetic and electric field, then the ratio of this electric and magnetic field is equals to the velocity V, then this particle pass out this area without deflection. okay, because these both force are balance each other. So if you put any particle with the velocity v in this field, this basically if the ratio of this field are equals to the velocity, then this pass out this field without any deflection. So actually this phenomena are used in mass spectroscope. Application is okay. Application is mass spectroscope, because in mass spectroscope the ratio of the E by m is useful, and so we are getting easily classify the particles and its velocity, because if the velocity value is equals to E by b, then it pass out this area without any deflection. Okay. So this is the first use of the magnetic field and electric field. What is the motion? Okay. Then we are discussing about the another application, and this application is very important. Basically this is cyclotron. Actually cyclotron is a elementary particle accelerator. It is very useful to accelerate the particle in very high energy. Cyclotron. Okay. The diagram of the cyclotron is like this. There are a very big area, okay, and this area have magnetic field upward the plane. Okay, so we are denoted like this: magnetic field upward the plane. If you denote downward the plane, you are put the cross sign, but this is upward the plane, so we are put dot. Okay. This is the direction of magnetic field is upward the plane. Okay, and in this magnetic field two metal Ds are present. Okay, first and second. Two metal Ds are present, and there are a elementary particle source is present. Okay, so and these D are connected with a oscillator. Connected with the oscillator. Why these are connected with the oscillator? I am explain. There are a exit point. At that point a elementary particle are produced, and it convert in this plane like this. This motion of this particle is y like, and finally this is exit at that point with very high energy. Okay, so how it's happen? This is D2 and this is D1. Okay, and this is the motion of the particle like this. This is point P, a particle is produced. Okay, so actually in cyclotron, a point P, a particle is produced, and the electric field is only generated in this area, not in these. In these only a magnetic field produced, but electric field is produced in this blank area between these D's. So then the particle is produced at the point. Due to the electric field, a force is applied on this particle, so this particle is moved in this D's, and in this D's only magnetic field is applied. So this particle get a curve motion, okay, a circular motion. Then if this particle come from in this area, this is also face a electric force. So this due to this force, this particle are come in this ditch. In this ditch also it face a magnetic force, so it get a circular motion, and each and every time in the middle of this ditch it get a electric force, and due to this force its radius and its path are converted in a spherical path. Okay, so in a spherical path, and each and every time between these the energy of this particle are increasing due to electric field. Okay, and energy of the particle are the increase in due to electric field, then we are using same formula, the centripetal force mv square upon r equals to q vb. In this case, if we are finding the value of the r, we are getting qb upon mv. Okay, we know that this is the value of the r. This is the basically the radius of the circular path of this particle. Okay, this is value of the circular path of this particle. And if you find out what is the velocity of this particle, basically velocity is equals to qb r by m. The velocity is equals to qb r by m, and finally we get what is the energy of this particle to at this exit point. What is the energy of this particle? So the kinetic energy, because this particle are in motion, so we are using the kinetic energy, and the kinetic energy is half m v square. Because we know the value of the v, we are put the value of the v here, then we are getting half m, and the v square is basically equals to q square b square r square upon m square. The value of the m is cancelled out, and we are getting the energy E is q square b square r square upon 2m. So this is the final energy of this particle at that point when the particle are exit. Okay, so we know that actually the energy of this particle are not depend on the velocity. Okay, it is depend on the charge of the particle, what is the magnetic field, and what is the radius. If the radius if you use the large size of ditch, then you are getting the large value of the r, and you are getting the large value of the energy. Okay, and if you are taking the very elementary particle, okay, the smallest mass, you are getting the high value of the energy. So basically the cyclotron principle is useful, because in this case the energy is not depend on the velocity. Okay, it is depend on the value of the magnetic field. We are increasing the value of the magnetic field easily, and the value of the r we are increasing if we using the big size of ditch, then the area of this circle is also increased, and the radius of the circle is also more than that. Okay, so this is the basically cyclotron principle, and this is also useful in the nuclear fission, because in the nuclear fission we are collide with the two elementary particle with very high energy. So using this cyclotron, we are using this cyclotron, actually the elementary particle have very high energy, and then we easily collide these both particles, and then the particle are collide, and in the nuclear fusion the high number of energy are generated. Okay, so this is the basically motion in a magnetic field and electric field. This is the basic application of a charged particle are put in a magnetic and electric field, then it is motion, then how I am use this motion. So this is the best example of the magnetic and electric field. Okay, in our lecture we are discussing about the rest of the part of this chapter. If you are like our lecture, so please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.